Hey, it's Chris, and I want to say thank you to our veterans, active duty military, and first responders for serving our great nation. And this week on the Chris Carlisle Show, we're going to take a look at the Seattle icon, the Space Needle. You're listening to the Chris Carlisle Show, hosted by me, Chris Carlisle. And thank you for listening to the Chris Carlisle Show. I'm Chris, by the way. On this week's episode, we're going to take a look at the Space Needle, the famous landmark in Seattle. I got to see it when I went up there for my nephew's wedding. I didn't go to it though, but his older brother did go. It was the idea of hotel executive Edward E. Carlson, who was the chief organizer for the 1962 World's Fair, which was held in Seattle. He went to Stuttgart, Germany in 1959, or West Germany back then, where he saw the Stuttgart Tower. And that gave him the idea for a centerpiece for the World's Fair. By the way, I had one view of last week's episode looking back on the year 1973 on YouTube. I also had 2 downloads, both from India. Anyway, it gave him an idea. I said he gave him an idea for a centerpiece for the World's Fair that would also become an enduring symbol for the city of Seattle, and he called it the Space Needle. Some of the early designs included a landed UFO, a tethered balloon, and a cocktail shaker. Then with the landed UFO. 2 architects were involved in the design. Architect Jack Graham focused on the flying saucer-shaped roundhouse, while architect Victor Steinbruck came up with the wasp-waisted tower shape. They had to find financing and a location for it. A 120-foot by 120 lot on the side of an old firehouse were sold to investors for $75,000 in 1961. I wonder how much that costs today. It was 13 months before the fair was supposed to open, and construction progressed quickly. The underground foundation was poured in a hole 30 inches deep and 120 inches across, and it took 467 cement trucks a whole day to fill the hole. It was the largest concrete pour ever tried in the western United States. Once it was complete, the foundation weighed as much as the Space Needle itself would. The established center of gravity was 5 feet above the ground and was finished in December of 1961, 8 months after it had started. It was built by the Howard S. Wright Construction Company. The Seattle World's Fair was called the Century 21 Exposition, and its theme was Living in the Space Age. A coat of paint for the legs was called Astronaut White, orbital olive for the core and structure, and Re-Infrared for the halo, and Galaxy Gold for the sunburst and the pagoda roof. Its chief engineer was Mr. John Minassian, who would design rocket gantries for NASA. The fair opened on April 21st, 1962, and on the first day of the fair was, of course, April 21st, 1962. I just said that. During the fair, the tower hosted over 2.65 million visitors. Some of the, including famous folks like Elvis, the Shaw, Prince Philip, RFK, Walter Cronkite, Bob Hope, John Wayne, Chubby Checker, Billy Graham, John Glenn, Dr. Jonas Salk, actress Carol Channing, Neil Armstrong, LBJ, and Walt Disney. In 1974, a character was created called Weedle, and a children's book was written about a character called Weedle, who was a small Bigfoot-type character. He was depicted as being shy, orange, and with a bright red nose. He became a mascot for the Seattle Supersonics, the NBA franchise. The Space Needle itself was the subject, or victim, I should say, of an April Fool's prank played by TV station KING, which once, along with its then radio sister, KING AM, had studios in the Space Needle. It was on their almost live comedy show, and they put out a fake news bulletin reporting that the tower had collapsed. Even had a picture of the tower in ruins. And people who were watching actually thought it was real and called 911. Of course, those who were in the area could still see the Space Needle standing, obviously. And the station ended up having to apologize for the incident. Kind of a throwback to the War of the Worlds. During the 35th anniversary, in 1997, a new mascot was introduced called a Sneedle, but it didn't last long. They also unveiled some legacy lights in 1999, and after the 9/11 attacks in 2001, they stayed on for 8 straight days. It was named an official City of Seattle landmark by the city's Preservation and Land Board in 1999. It underwent a revitalization in 2000 with the building of a pavilion level. They added a retail store and a Sky City restaurant. Some of its current features include the Lupe Lounge, or Lupa Lounge, which is open during normal hours. It has signature cocktails, twists on classic, and a curated selection of seafood, cheeses, treats, and more, fixed by its executive chef. Now, since they serve liquor, you gotta be 21 to go in. There's also the Atmos Cafe, which is an espresso bar, beer, wine, local treats, and since it's Seattle, also coffee. Local treats from artisans, including Pinkabella cupcakes and Whidbey Island ice cream. It's also open during normal business hours. There's also the Atmos Wine Bar, which has beer, wine, soft drinks, coffee, as I'm pretty sure the Atmos Cafe does have it too. And grab-and-go snacks. Both are on the upper observation levels. There's the Base to Space, which is a charity air climate held every fall, and the proceeds for it go to cancer research. It's raised over $3 million. On their website, there's a 24-hour live cam. I looked at it before I started recording, where you can see panoramic views of Puget Sound. For more, check out its website, spaceneedle.com. Thank you for listening. Be sure to leave a like, a rating, and a follow. Hi, I'm Chris, and thank you for listening to my podcast, The Chris Carlisle Show. The Chris Carlisle Show is available on Spreaker. Please leave a like and a review, and also a follow. It's also available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeart, Podchaser, and Podcast Addict. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.